everyone. Welcome to the Awesome Day of FileMaker Training. I'm Richard Carlton, creator of FMTrain.tv, where every day at this time we are attempting to have an awesome conversation about the FileMaker platform. If you go to FMTrain.tv, you press the, I'm going to press the button. I have a little control panel down here. You come to the FMTrain.tv live website, hit the live tab. You can see upcoming schedule today and tomorrow. Nick Hunter. If you want to support the channel, we always recommend this while the training is free. You come over here to bundles, purchase one of the training bundles. We greatly appreciate it. It allows us to pay the bills for all this and keep the training going because people here don't work for free. Nick, are you ready to take command of the show?
Of the Star Trek Enterprise? Yes, I'm ready. So thank you guys for joining today. And so today we do something a little bit special. You have different levels training. So we have the ninja level, and today is like Jedi level. Okay, so this level top of the ninja. In my career, I had to face up things that never been done before, right? It's like the Enterprise stuff. It's like the Star Trek, where the mind never gone before. So like managing like this amount of records, like a massive amount of records, passing the 100 million records. So it's massive. Okay. I'm not alone in that case. There's many people doing this. I know people that are at their, I don't remember a company doing this, National Geographics, So, and they got an award one day at a DEF CON, I don't remember, in Texas, in San Antonio. They got a reward about this because they did crazy things with FileMaker, thing that never been done before. And so when you deal with her, so I'm there, I'm not right now, I'm dealing with millions of records. So I'm going to deal with, I think I'm going to reach the billion records, So I think I will reach that level. And yes, FileMaker can handle this, Of course, when you deal with millions of records, you cannot do that with a $200 per month server. No, you can't go to a Formula One race with a Chevy. No, right? No, it's not possible. So go to the grocery store, you can, but go to the Formula One race ring, you cannot. Okay, so just So first you need a server, okay? A kick bleep server, okay? Start with an A, which is not that expensive, by the way. People say, "Oh, are you crazy?" Or a $2,100 a month a server. Yeah, if they go to the competition, because when you have a $200 a month server, okay, and you do first name, last name, or and address fields for 500 people, that's okay, But when you deal with a billion records, right? You have a billion record. You have 50 people coming and running and using the file, okay? Across 50 states in the United States, right? So yeah, you need a kick server. Sorry, I said the word. So we need to bleep the word when we do the bleep. We need to bleep the word. But you need a server, and trust me, $2,100 a month when you need it is very cheap. Okay, compared to the competition and the other people. Okay, so that's the first thing you need to know. You cannot do that with a $200 server. No. Something I learned, by the way, with this experience that I'm doing right now, okay, is that FileMaker server is a really, really, really powerful tool. It's because yes, FileMaker server is taking all the power of it. It's not like before where you could get like a huge CPUs and big GBs and FileMaker the same. It was no difference. No, they did a big efforts, right, to make FileMaker server to use all the juice out of the server. Okay, so and that's a good thing. That's good to know, right? More power you get to FileMaker server, more you get, and there's no limit apparently, because I got one of the most expensive, pretty much I have a server FileMaker same level as a game, online game server. It's that level. The game server. I have that level of server right now working. Right? So it's not a small one. So that's the first. So now, other thing, when you have to deal with a huge amount of records, what you don't want to do is moving data. What do we do about moving data? It's relookups, auto entries like this. You need to be like, rocket science precision. It's you have no freedom, you have no space for any forgiveness. The forgiveness zero, tolerance zero. It's like, it's the death penalty for every single thing you do. It's you can't, right? So that's the other thing. The other thing you need to know about when you have massive amounts of records. I'm going to kill a myth here. Let's kill the myth right there. SQL is not going to help you whatsoever. It's the opposite. It's quite the opposite. It's going to make everything complicated, extremely complicated, if you use SQL, because there's no SQL in FileMaker. I'm sorry, I'm going to kill that because people are dreaming about SQL, right? FileMaker is not a SQL software. It's not. It's not. There's not a SQL engine. You can write some SQL commands, and then you have like a translator that goes and use go to read record, perform find, and all the tools we have. They're going to translate that in the FileMaker scripts. Point. So there's no magic. There's no magic. So SQL is not going to help when you have massive amount of records. No, SQL will help if you want to talk to a SQL database outside of FileMaker. That will help. That's why it's there, but it's not there if you stay in FileMaker. Now, you will say, yeah, why you don't go to outside of FileMaker and use OBDC and SQL and stuff? No, I don't want to go outside of FileMaker. Why? Okay. We can do everything with FileMaker in a very, very simple way. Okay. So for me, not just for today we talk about importing data in. Okay. So it's just, I'm not saying, I'm going to do many webinars about use FileMaker technology with a large amount of record, right? Like multi-threading pieces and stuff like that. I have some webinars in a pipe for that, right? But to import data, it's not that complicated. Okay, so SQL is not helping. You need a kick bleep server, and you have no forgiveness, right? And you need to think a little bit out of the box. And if I said that we are this webinar now is about the Jedi level, right? I'm going to show you right now. Okay, so let me stop my camera to get all the. So do we have any questions so far emerged?
We do. So what's the bottleneck? Memory, data transfer to disk? Question mark.
Okay, yeah. So let me put back my. Yeah, we can have a conversation like this. I mean, it seems. Sorry, guys, if I'm taking time to talk to you. I think it's important to know. It depends on many things. For example, actually, I can share my screen with a server, with the configuration of the server while I'm talking. I think that will be helpful. And then you can understand. Yeah, let's have this conversation. I mean, okay, you guys, you want this conversation about the server, about what is involved? Do you want to have this conversation? We have time. I have 6 days.
We have 6 days, so we can sit here and spend
30
minutes
okay.
talking about server if we wanted to.
So what is important on the server? Okay, everything has its importance. Okay, so you have the memory. Sometimes you can add all the memory you want. You won't have a better performance. The CPU, it depends what you want to do. So CPU. So we talk about CPU, horsepower, GB, memory, and hard drive, because this is the key. Okay. So let me share screen. This is the server configuration, and you can see it's quite a bit more complicated that you used to see. Okay. So when you want, so let's talk about CPU. What CPU will help a lot. Okay. If you have complex calculations, logic, when you have a lot of calcs and think heavy, logic, while functions, loops on scripts, CPU will help. If you have a lot of people connected to the server, right? If you have a lot of users, you need memory, because every single user will get a slice of it. Okay, so more user you have, more memory you need. Okay, by the same token, more user you have, more CPU you need as well, because they will use your logic more. So if you have a complex logic, like lot of calcs and like this, you need CPU, and more user you get connected, you need more memory, ergo more CPU as well. Okay. So now, in terms of importing, reading, opening records, sorting, searching, deleting, creating, everything that is disk access, IOs, read, write. Okay, I read a record, I close, I commit a record, I delete a record, I create a record, I import record, right? All of this, if you can have you can have a quantic computer. If you don't have a very strong disk access, you won't make a dent in a difference, right? So you need, for everything that is disk access, reading, opening record, closing, committing, deleting, creating, importing, like we do today, you need a really, really fast hard drive. Knowing that FileMaker server is a piece of engineering, very, very beautiful. Okay, it's a beauty in terms of disk management. They did a lot of effort on this. They really, really, really did a big job here. As you can see here, I have multiple on my server. I have a multiple disk. I have the C, the D, the F, right? So I have a lot of, folders. Okay, I have a lot of disk. Those are different disks. They're different hard drive. They're different physical hard drive. They're not volume inside the same hard drive. Why? Is because FileMaker has the capability of writing and reading simultaneously on multiple disks. So when one disk is busy, another one, FileMaker can read and write on another one. But if you have only one hard drive and you have everything running on the same hard drive, well, FileMaker has to wait until something is done, until it can read on something else. That's why typically what I have here, right? What I have here, I have a hard drive where I have the FileMaker server software, the application, I have the software and the Windows server and the Windows server system, the Windows system, the operating system in the same hard drive. They are the same hard drive, so I have Windows server and FileMaker server software on the same hard drive, like the C. That's it. I have no file there. I have no FileMaker file there, right? I have none. I have another hard drive where I have all my databases, okay? So I have a D drive where I have the databases inside. So that means the FMP12 files. They are on another drive. They're not on the C. They're on the D. Why? Is because on the C, FileMaker server and Windows, they're going to manage all the caches, and they're going to have all their page memory and stuff like that, right? The virtual memory and stuff. So they will have a the hard drive will be used by the system, even if you do nothing, and by FileMaker server software, even if you do nothing, FileMaker will use this hard drive, read and write, and get the disk busy for its own purpose, okay? So now, you don't want reading and writing on your FMP files, FMP12 file, you don't want to wait until Windows is done flushing its stuff, and you don't want neither to wait for FileMaker server software to be done swapping memory and dumping caches and stuff like that. So you don't want the hard drive to be busy. That's why we have a D hard drive only for that, for the databases, for the FMP12 files. They are there. Then at the same time, when I write, yesterday I showed you that I'm using containers, right? I'm dumping on containers 30 gigabyte files in a container. So that means I'm going to write on the disk. I'm going to read and write. I'm going to export. I'm going to insert a file into a container, and I'm going to export that file from the container into the hard drive into the Windows hard drive, into the C in this one. You don't want, when that happens, right? You don't want the D drive to be busy. You want to use another drive where you're going to put the media, the container data, right? So I have another drive for this, right? I have another drive. And also, right, since I'm making a lot of access in one specific file on FileMaker with the name is address, is where I'm going to dump like 400 million record, 500 million record. I have an E drive for this file only. I have one file in that hard drive, and this is it. Because I'm going to dump in this file a huge, massive, big amount of records. So I want that file to be alone. I want this file to be alone. So that's why we have here a configuration with 5 hard drives. First, FileMaker server application alongside with Windows software with the operating system. Then we have a D hard drive with some database and the registration file. Then we have a F drive where I'm going to dump everything that is about container data. Then I have an E drive, another one, where I have all my address, because this is a file where I'm going to dump half billion dollar, half billion. Yeah, this is my incomes every month. Half billion records, right? In this file, right? And then I have another F drive for all the container data, right? And then I have a G drive for the backups. Because of course you don't want to have the coffee cup, right? The infamous FileMaker coffee cup. When you're doing backup, that means coffee cup means, oh, okay, you know what? You need to wait until the database is done. And since my files are gigabytes, like 80, 100, 120 gigabytes, when I do a backup, I don't want the server to be completely stalled, right? So, questions?
Are the disks SSD or HDD?
Okay, good question. I knew it will come. So, for all the intensive use drive, we need a SSD. So, SSD, of course, for the C drive, which has the Windows software, the operating system, and FileMaker server application, you need a SSD. Of course, you need SSD for the, for this file, the FMP12 files, right? For the container data, it is a big plus to have SSD, but sometimes you say yes, it's okay, because you need a massive, if you have massive amount of data in your container, like photos and big files and stuff like this, you could go to a spinning disk, right? It's better to have a big, good spinning disk instead of having a small and SSD, right? You know what I mean? So it depends. For example, in this case, the container data folder is an SSD because I need performance, because I'm going to dump and import big, huge files in containers. I don't want to wait for that. So I have a big SSD. So I have a big money there. I'm banking money there, right? Where you can freely use a spinning disk is on the backups, especially when you want a big backups. When you want like a 5 terabyte or 10 terabytes, something like this. You need to go to the spinning disk, and it will make a difference, but it's not that big. So the data, so the backup can be a spinning disk. Container depends if it's for storage, like, and reading into FileMaker, like, you want to display a container on your layouts. You have a container on your layout and you want to read a PDF directly from FileMaker. You can have a spinning disk for this. But if you want to unload, upload, download a big files from a container to the hard drive, you need a SSD, right? So I try to be explicit in the demonstration. Other question?
Are the drives rated? RAID.
Here I'm using Amazon drive, so I can get more information about which disk I'm using here. But we use what they call the Nitro. So what is important here, I don't know if it's I guess it's rated, because Amazon is I mean and they have their own system, they have their own managing system. I don't, if you want big power, you know, big, strong, like I said, big, kick, bleep server. Don't go on your own. Or you need to spend like $50,000 in hard drive and CPU and maintenance and installation. Yeah, don't go there. Just give your money to Amazon and they do, you know, and then they do their stuff. But what is important to know is on Amazon, you can choose the performance in reading, the IOs, the benchmark, you know, the bandwidth between the CPU and your drive. You can choose how fast it is, right? You can choose that. Of course, more you pay, faster it is. Here I have pretty much one of the fastest possible, right? So I can come with my own video game, online video game with that server. I can come with this. You know, it's a very strong server. So I have one of the best IO possible, or a lot of memory. Like I don't remember, 60 gigabytes of memory or something like this. So it's a big server, right? The best as possible, because we are competing in a Formula One race. We are not going at Walmart on a Friday night or going at Bevmo and buy some beer. No, we don't do that, right? We race on the Formula One, right? So that's why we went on Amazon and we said, okay, max, boom, total pay here, right? So, but it's needed, right? It's needed. So what is important on the hard drive is how fast the IO is. Of course, if you have a big CRM like first name, last name, and accounts and projects, and like if you have a FMSP, you don't need that. You don't. It won't make a difference. It won't. That will make a difference, as I said, when you deal with gazillions of records, right? When you deal with 50 user or more, if you deal with extensive, very power-consuming logic, right? So yes, that will make the big difference, right? So how you know when your logic is heavy? Yes, you know when it's heavy is when you have a complex interaction, right? So when you are on the Jedi level, that server you need, right? So it's all about numbers. It's all about what you do. For example, here, it is crucial. It is crucial that every imports and updates on the records, because we are updating millions, tens of million records at a time. I cannot spend 2 months to get the thing done. My threshold. So here we are. We have the max I can get, the maximum time allowed for what I want to do. It's overnight. That means you launch something before you leave office at night, and the next day when you arrive at the office, it's done. That's my time. That means 6 to 8 hours. I don't have more, right? So everything I can get to help me reach that, level, reach that result, is welcome, right? So the server is part of it. And here, since it's all about getting data in and updating data, the hard drive was the most significant thing to do, right? Other question?
Can you expand an FMP12 into many servers, like one file on many servers, David?
Yes. Okay, this is a bad configuration. And I can tell you, you know why I know that? Is because the guy I'm working right now with this server is the configuration he has. And that's a bad idea. And I'll explain you why. Today the guy has 21 server, right? So that means, and he has one server he called national, where he has thing shared between all the 21 files, the other 20 files, right? Because he has one database per state. So he's located in 20 states. So each state gets his server, okay? It's the same file. It's the same FMP file shared on multiple servers. But guess what the problem here? If you have interaction, if you have, for example, shared table, related table, right, between one file located in one server and another file located on another server, right? If you have this, your speed and your performance depends on how fast the connection between two servers is, because one server will call the other server, so you get out and you get into the internet, and then until you reach the other server. So you have like this separation between those two servers. So if the servers are two different machines next to each other, right, and connected under very fast optical fiber Ethernet connection, that's okay, right? That's okay. But if you need to get outside in the internet, right, to connect one server to the other one, well, you have a bottleneck here, and then you can have a problem. It can be extremely slow, and it was extremely slow. At one point that we got to remove, all the files the guy had in the national server shared with all the others 20. Now we have 20 times the same file on the server, on each server, because it was faster as that way. It was too slow when one server was talking to another server. And you have another set of headaches when you have this. You have authentication issues, and that's why I have this. For example, you need to re-log in. You need to have script that re-log in, and then you have crazy external data source stuff, right? So, so yeah, you need to, it's not a good idea. It is not. FileMaker, you can talk to another server, right? You can talk to another server. FileMaker can do that from one server to another. There's no problem. But it's not. It could be like something you need small. You need one record. You need to, you need to update one record at some time and stuff. When you have small calls, like we say, you can do that. But if you have a massive amount of record, and if you need to do massive records updates, like relookup and stuff like this is a bad idea. The best is to have one server, and even the best is to have one file, which is what I'm doing right now for that guy. I'm taking 20 server, 20 different files to one unique location, one unique server, and one unique file, right? And more than this, in each files, the guy has different table with the same data scattered in different table. I'm going to get this in one unique table, one unique file, one unique server, right? Because when you have a massive amount of records, as I said, when you move data, moving like update, like a relookup, like auto entry, like when you cannot do that, it is too slow. You need one place where you have one unique set of data, right? And then you start from there. Okay, so yeah, we have 5 minutes. So just I want to tell you what we're going to talk about tomorrow, right? Here the catch. Here I have I have a set of like 6 million records, right? And I have here, it takes some time. I have 18 million records, correct? What I want, right? I want to import a file. Let me pause this right now. I want to import a file. Yeah, sorry, it will ask for this, which I don't have because it's a demo file. Okay. What I want to do, right? I want to do this, right? So, and I want to do this on one here and here, and I want to do that with the no, I'm not in the right. I'm not in the right, but it's okay. I want to do that. Let's say I want to do this. I want to do an update, a match. I want to do an import on a match field. Okay, so what that is first, right? So we have 3 different updates, 3 different ways to import. Okay. So tomorrow I'm going to talk about this, but just a sneak peek of what we want to do tomorrow. And then you can understand the problem here. I want to do an update. So I want to import data. And when I import, I want the data to get imported in a record matching a field, like a relookup with imports. Okay? It's a relookup, but with an external file, like a CSV. So what happened when you do this with a massive amount of records? So let me explain. So let's say I have 6 million records here, and I want to import those 6 million records. I want to import them in this file, matching this number, for example. Okay, so I want this number to match this number. Okay, so what happens if I do that? The system will import the data. I will say, okay, I have this number. You go to record number 1, and I have this record that I need to import, and this is a matching field. Okay, he go there, he go to the first, and he say, oh, is this the first? Is the first matching? No. Okay. Is this one matching? No. Is this match matching? No. Is this match matching? No. And he goes until he finds I found it. And he's going to do that 6 million times. He's going to check on 19 million records. So 6 million times he's going to check 19 million records. So we made a calc based on the speed and performance, and it ends up that the time needed to do that was 7 years. No, I'm not kidding. I am not freaking kidding.
7 years?
7 years. If I want to use just the file imports and do the updates, file import and do the updates. So we did a calc. You know, if I want to match using that technique, right? On any, and if I want to do the match technique here, with on one side I have pretty much the same amount of record. I have 40 million in one side and 40 million in the others. So he was doing a 14 million times 14 million. So I don't know how, I think it was like 39 zeros, something like this.
I have no idea how many zeros that is.
Okay, so, yeah. So the time to do that was 7 years. So that means, and the challenge I had, just to tell you, right? Just to tell you the challenge I had, I need to get that down to overnight. That was my challenge, right? So and the guy said, and recently I said, the guy said, okay, thank you for not pressuring me, and give me the time to figure out, you know, and I figure out, and that's why I'm here, and I'm going to show you that. Okay, so this, with a massive amount of record, you cannot use. No. So there's another technique, and tomorrow we're going to show that, and sneak peek. The problem was, you know, neither you can use go to real records, for example, you know, because that was even more, because you could use this technique of go to real records and stuff like that, or relookup, go to real record, moving data. So that's what I call moving data. You know, when you move data to one place to another, you know, import and then do an update with a relookup, for example, right? So let's say you import in one table and then you say you do a relookup to another. That was 15 years, not 7, right? So because the amount of records is so huge, and what I want was a complete update on every single field. That means get new data in fields based on matching fields, like a registration number, right? So I got it working in hours. Of course, I'm not going to. I'm going to show you the technique and everything, but at one point, I'm going to launch at the end of the 6 days. I'm going to launch the import. We're going to watch the thing going on. You know, we're going to watch the progression, and then we go home, because it takes like 5 to 6 hours. But from 7 years to 5 or 6 hours, I think it's a big winning, right?
That's a big win. We do have a question real quick if you want to tag.
Yeah, I want.
I have a question from yesterday, and I only watched the first half. Nick uses a tag to mark what records he imported so he can find them later for deletion.
Yes.
At what point of the process does he clear that tag when doing multiple imports?
Yeah, okay, that's a good question, and that's why like I said yesterday, I use a tag because it's quick and dirty. It was enough for my demo, right? But normally, as I said, it's a good question, and I want to take some time to answer. What do I call moving data, right? It's getting anything changed in data, like replace, right? Replace, relookup, right? Get auto entries, calculation, right? This from one table to another, or, you know, those are moving, what I call moving data. So the best way, when you do multiple imports, right, you build something I might have here. No, I don't. Yeah, I have. When I get, let's say I'm importing that file, right? That means I have this CSV and I want to import it. This CSV has a UUID. This file has a UUID, correct? So let's say I want to import that file. I'm importing that file in that table, correct? Well, in that table, I don't have here because, but if I go there, I have an ID file. I have an ID file field, IDF, the foreign key. That means when I import a file, during the imports, I have an auto entry calculation here that's going to get the current file ID. When I import records, I'm going to get every single record imported with this file tagged set with this ID. So that means, okay, I want to get all the records I imported with this file, all the records belonging to that CSV file, boom, just look for this ID and you get them all. Then you don't need to clean, replace, you don't need. Why? Because if you have another import with another file, then you have another ID. That file was one ID and the other one has another ID. So if you want that file, well, you look for that ID. So you can have multiple imports, but you don't need to set, you don't need to set whatever timestamp or a tag or what, no, you have an ID. And the advantage is that you can get like a go to red record button and boom, you get all the record imported with that. And you can even have, oh, okay, you know what? Delete all the record belonging to that file. I don't need that, right? Delete all the record. Well, okay. You say go to red record, delete all. So the best is to have this technique. You get all your file, your CSV, Excel, whatever file you want to import. You get that in a container. You have the server that you export this, like I showed you yesterday. You export that file on the server. You import with, and you put that ID in the field, in the IDF foreign key file ID, right? And then you can retrieve them on the fly. And you get a physical connection between the file and the record belonging to this. Did I answer well?
Ken, yeah, this makes sense. I was thinking an import date, but this gives me something unique.
Yeah, I don't like dates. I don't like dates because you don't remember. Tomorrow you won't remember. And sometimes you do, okay, dates. Sometimes you do an import in the morning and then you do another import in the afternoon. The day is over. You mix match both. So you say, yeah, I'm going to use the timestamp. Yeah, but in between a week from now, you don't even remember which one. Here you have a file. You see the file you imported. So it's great, and you can redo the import if you need to redo it. You can because you still have the CSV in your file. I like this technique.
Yeah,
It allows you
awesome.
multiple things. Because it's first of all, it allows you to do the import on server, like I showed you yesterday, right? And you saw the difference between, I did like 100,000 record in the same time on server, when on the client for the same amount of time it did 1,500 record, right? So you understand, and you cannot do that if you don't use that technique, because you need to transfer that file you have here in front of you, you need to send it to the server on the hard drive. And I showed you yesterday how to deal with, so yeah. So this is way better. There's
This
no
is
question. Yeah.
No, people are definitely
Well,
saying thank you for the answer. So cool.
okay, yeah. So tomorrow is a Jedi level. No, it's a very important. It's a webinar, because I'm using a technique. Okay, I'm using something you never see ever. And that's something I want to ask you guys. If you ever use that in FileMaker, this, like, create a data file. Whoever did that?
No, no, I've only ever seen that script step once. It's because Richard put it in by accident. He meant to type create window, and there was create data file. I'm like, that's the wrong
Yes.
script step. What does that even do?
Exactly. So, okay, this is the answer. That was the answer that allowed me to get from 7 years to 7 hours. Right? So that's something I'm using a lot since they introduced that. I don't remember, it was 16 or 17 or something like this. And pretty much it's exactly what any software in the industry is doing. I'm creating my own cache file. I'm creating my cache file, which all this FileMaker itself is using that technique. It dumps stuff on cache files, right? That's what we do. That's what FileMaker do, and we even have this. Don't remember where it is. Is it here? Where we dump the cache file? Is here, right? Is in memory, I think. No, where is it? Here, delete cache, same file, right? Delete. They put that here. They push here. They didn't even know where to put it, right? So they put that. So I'm using the same technique any other software in the industry is doing. And when I'm going to show you this, you're going to use that every time, because this will save your life, And but nobody used this, and very few people use this, and only the Jedi use this. Okay, and I'm going to show you, right? So tomorrow is a big day.
Yep, it'll be awesome. Thank you so much, Nick. Seriously.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. So have a good one, and see you tomorrow then.
We'll definitely see you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.